We are live for this episode. We're up in Highland Park, Idaho at one of my Startups with Stu retreats, and I could not think of a better guest to have with us for this special live recording. Today's guest is someone who started hustling in high school, teaching piano. She moved into sales and by college was throwing massive block parties and rap battles for thousands of students. She was turning sponsorships and entry fees into a thriving events business, all while still going to school. Fast forward to today, Bianca McDown is the founder of Vox Voice, an 11-year-old marketing and advertising agency where she has built a reputation for doing what nobody else dares to do. From sending unscripted video messages to Fortune 500 CEOs, to landing a personal response from the CEO of the global brand Caterpillar, her secret weapon is understanding people, attention, and the psychology of yes. She's a mom, a freestyle rapper, an author, and someone who lives every single day with an incredible amount of urgency and intention. You're gonna love Bianca. Here we go.
Startups with Stu is a podcast for anyone living or wanting to live the startup life, either as a founder or a team member. Your host, Stuart Draper, was a 9-time Inc. 5000 honoree before age 40. This show dives deep into the exhilarating world of entrepreneurship with guests that are seeking advice from Stu for their startup or business owners that want to share their entrepreneurial journey. Listeners always walk away with actionable ideas of what to do to take their startup to the moon. Startup life can feel like a roller coaster ride, and with Startups with Stu, you're likely to turn your roller coaster ride into a rocket ship ride. Get ready to uncover the secrets to startup success from visionary founders and savvy investors who've transformed groundbreaking ideas into thriving ventures.
This is another episode of Startups with Stu, where we talk about what it takes to take your startup to the moon. We're back here in Highland Park, Idaho, with another live recording, this time with Mrs. Bianca McDownriver.
Reber, yeah.
I know some others that spell it the exact same way as you, and they say Reber.
Yeah.
And so it threw me off. But Reber, and hails from Texas.
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So thanks for doing this with us and for making the haul up here. Glad you were able to bring Garrett, Dr. Garrett, here soon.
No, we're excited. I mean, it was colder in Texas than coming to Idaho, so I feel like that's never going to happen ever again. So.
Yeah, you came to the warmth of Idaho.
Yeah.
And spent 7 minutes last night cooling off in the lake.
Yes.
With like 15 or 16 inches of ice.
It was fun, in my opinion.
She's like smiling and telling us stories and like quoting David Goggins, and I'm like, wow, this is different. So cool. And then, what time did you finally fall asleep after all that freezing?
Last night it was almost 2 a.m.
You couldn't sleep?
No, I was like energized and I was mad everyone was going to bed. So I could yell at my husband, but I couldn't yell at everybody else. So I was like, dang it, I guess I gotta go to the room too.
Now that I think about it, I bet where we first connected on social media was because of BYU Idaho, because we're both alumni of BYU Idaho.
Yeah, I was thinking, I know it was somewhere on Instagram, but we found each other somehow.
So let's do this. I want to hear about, I know that when you were at BYU, I was like a decade after me, you're like younger than me. Mm-hmm. But tell me about the thing, I know you did some entrepreneurial things there that kind of made you stand out from the crowd. Were you doing entrepreneurial things before that, before BYU?
Yeah. Well, my first job ever was a piano teacher, actually. So
in high school? In
high school. So I taught piano. I always wanted my own money. I hated asking my parents for money. And I never really thought it was their job to provide. I've never felt like it was anyone's job to provide. It was just like, I can go and get it. And I don't like asking permission to buy something. That's another thing too. So I taught piano. We moved a bunch, so I would just get students everywhere. And then I worked at Forever 21, Victoria's Secret, in retail. And then the job that was the worst, but good in a good way. So I worked at a place called Quick Car Wash. And I was supposed to be the girl just at the cash register checking people out. But the owner was like, hey, will you go out there and you like upcharge, so there's different detailed packages, right? And he's like, well, you try to go upsell everybody to like the highest detail. And I was young, like high school young, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And that's when sales became a passion. And then I started realizing, man, if I could convince someone to go from this like $39 wash to a $200 wash, what else can I do? And the boss was not a good one. He was really hard to work with, bipolar. So he was like one of those, you never know who you're going to get when you come in. But I killed it there, and that's where it kind of sparked more for me to go to college. And I started actually multiple businesses when I was at BYU. Some were failures. And
let's talk about the failures and the successes. Let's start with the failures.
Okay. So I love health and fitness. It's been a huge thing. I really believe health is wealth. Without health, I feel like you have nothing. That's a true thing, non-negotiable for me every day. 6 days a week is go to the gym and try to eat healthy, even though I was eating Oreos last night. It's balance, right? I noticed at BYU Idaho that there was not like supplements, and I grew up in a world of protein, pre-workouts, creatine, because both of my brothers competed. And I know the importance of protein intake. So I thought, why not bring a shop to Rexburg or quote unquote sell it from my room? But I went into this whole process of creating a protein powder. So mixed different pre-workouts, creatines, and I had a business partner, Nick. He was one of my best friends at BYU Idaho, and he was friends with all the gym bros. So we all went to the gym together. Garrett was friends with the room, and so I was like, he's one of my best friends. Let's go into business together. That was one of the mistakes, that I was going into business with a friend.
Garrett.
No, not Garrett. Sorry.
Different friend.
That might be a mistake too, but
because he was he was in the friend group.
He was in the friend group. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So when we started trying to create this protein powder, oh my gosh, protein powder is really hard to make taste good and be low calorie, high protein content. I had a lot of money because, like I said, I worked in high school. So I went to college very different than most college students. Like I had like 10 grand in the bank always, and was always like paying for everybody, making meals on Sundays. Garrett came to some of those. I would have like 40 people and I'd pay for dinner, like and feed a bunch of college students on Sundays. And, I just loved giving. That's like a big thing. But going back to the company, it was called Driven Supplements. So DRVN Supplements. We had a logo that was kind of like a Y, and it was like, we help you meet your goals. So we are the intersection where you meet your goals. Couldn't get down the protein and the creatine and the pre-workout to taste good for a while. I'm churning money. I'm the only one giving the money at this point, not my business partner. And then I say, you know what, let's make clothes. So I thought maybe the margins would look better and I could get the clothes down first. That was my next mistake. I know why people outsource to China versus try to manufacture and make clothing in America. My profit margins were horrible with clothes. I sold out every single time. I would get people to just wear my clothes around. I have a album full of a bunch of people wearing Driven, made a bunch of hats for guys. And that was killing it in the sense that I couldn't keep up with the demand for the clothing. Try to go to BYU Idaho to let them actually get pants in that said Driven, but that's like a whole other story. And long story short, I burned a lot of money going into it. My business partner ended up taking the cash that we made and buying an engagement ring for his wife to this day still. And just thinking, his response to me was, "Oh, Bianca, you always know how to make money," was his response when he took it, even though we were both in it.
Just the kind of partner.
Yes. And I'm a very nice person, so I found that has gotten me burned sometimes in business, but that just taught me a few lessons. We almost rented out, where Wingers used to be. Yeah. So there was I haven't been back in 10 years. We haven't driven down there yet, but there was a spot. We went and walked it. It was like $5,000 a month. I almost thought about getting the clothes in there, putting all still trying to create this protein supplement and doing a storefront. Nick wanted to, but I just had this gut feeling, don't do it. And Driven ended up dying after I left BYU Idaho. I made no money, ended up losing all my money. I threw parties while I was at school, so I was still making money and revenue in other ways. But it was my biggest lesson to this day. I still own it and I want to do it still. I love the space.
That was what I was going to ask you. I was like, okay, so I got to ask her, like, no, first off, would you do it again? And the answer is maybe or yes.
1,000%.
Yes.
I would do it.
And then if you would do it again, like, what is it? Just because you believe, like, knowing what you know now, having the resources you have now, the network you have now, is that like?
Yes, and I'm passionate about it. I think passion drives businesses to exceed something far beyond what we can even imagine. And I'm very passionate about the health space, and so I know if I were to run with it now, that I could run 1,000 times faster than when I was a college student, trying to still get grades while running an events business at the same time. So it was just a crazy time when I was starting it. But those failures I talk about often, and we still have a bunch of the driven merchandise. And it's funny because I had my sister-in-law, because we moved a lot, when we packed, she's like, why are you lugging around this failed like company? She asked me that. She was like, you have all this driven merchandise. Why do you like go take it everywhere? And I was like, oh no, it's a good reminder to keep going for me. And it's a good reminder to remember why I failed. And I've taken that in other lessons and different opportunities I've had 10 plus years later since that.
It's like something from you bring back from wars that you want to keep as memorabilia from the battles.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the cool logo. So I'm like, I am proud representing it when I wear it still. So. Okay,
so was there another failure? Or was the other a success? Or how many?
No, my events business was a success.
Yeah, okay,
so
let's hear about that.
That's what made me money in college. I threw parties for a living. So I noticed like a space in BYU Idaho where there was a lot of different venues and around in Rexburg, tons of apartment complexes. And I'm a social person, if you can't tell. So I love getting people together. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start charging entrance fees to parties. And there's been other spaces, like at other universities, of people doing that. But it wasn't really a thing in Rexburg 10 years ago. And so I would go to apartment complexes. That's how it first started. Actually, I got to tell the truth. This is one I don't always like telling. But I'm a freestyler, like a rapper.
Oh, so, what? That is definitely going to be a part of this episode.
So, that's a key component to this because one of the first things that I started in Rexburg was freestyle battles. And it was so fun. So we would get people to sign up. We started we did it at Northgate. You came to that one, didn't you? We met at one of my parties. So that's how my husband and I met. But I would tell people, like, there's a lot of good rappers. Like, you would not know until you give them a stage. And those were what first started it. Was I would go to apartment complexes, ask them if I could they had to be big. My first one was at Northgate, which was small. Oh my gosh, you couldn't breathe. Hundreds and hundreds of students paid $10 to enter the door to listen to college students rap and freestyle and battle it out. And
a bunch of white kids in Rexburg, Idaho, freestyle rapping. I'd pay more than $10 to see that.
It was so fun. And all I would do was, it was great Scots. I would go ask them, and I'd be like, listen, we got a lot of students coming here. Do you want to sell drinks? Like, it was something simple as that. I'd get different, Kiwi Loco and I were like best friends back then. They would bring ice cream to all my events. They would give us like a bunch of coupons. So that's where it initially started, was with freestyle battles. And then that one starting point at Northgate with doing that led to a stage of thousands of people where Kiwi Loco, North Point is. I blocked off that whole street, brought a huge stage, brought bands, brought rappers from Utah in to like actually sing, and we started doing block parties. And back then, do you guys remember Sammy's, the ice cream place? So Sammy and I, before a lot of the stuff that happened to him, we started kind of doing some events together. And so we would block out streets and do block parties. And then also the Zone, I don't know if it exists still, but that we would rent that out and do massive parties and freestyle battles and all those things. I just charged entrance fee, but where I really made money was sponsorships. So apartment complexes wanting to be in front of students. So I would say set up a table and like give them a percentage off, or say, hey, if you sign up today, $600 off your however long. We did it by semester, semester, not by month. And it just became a hit. And I did that for 5 years at BYU Idaho. So I pretty much had a party almost every weekend.
So do you know who Richie Webb is in Rexburg, Idaho?
That sounds
Hemming
familiar.
Village.
Yes.
That's my father-in-law.
That's your father-in-law?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, oh, she has to have talked to Richie at some point if she got to block that road off.
Yeah, we blocked that road off multiple times, and the one by Sammy's, when Sammy's used to be there, like that little circle. So, and then I also did a lot of events at the dunes. I did a water slide down the mountain and did a tailgate.
And you rented. How did you charge for that one?
That one, I just made money off of sponsors. I couldn't because there was a lot of regulations with the park.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't, and they had to pay to park, so I couldn't charge. But sponsors, and then I also got fined because I didn't know you couldn't put a grill on the sand. So that was a fun experience. But I became really good friends with the park rangers. He would take me out around on his ATV and
show you there.
Well, I'd be like throwing the party and he'd be taking me on a drive out to everywhere, and then he took away fines. So it was good. But had thousands of people going down the water slide, and I would just pump up water and have it go back down. So
that kind of young success, didn't it just give you a lot of confidence that if I can do this now, what's in my future? What else can I go build, right?
It did, and an important part to my story is I did 5 internships when I was in college with corporate America.
Yeah, because why not run 2 different businesses and your whole time through college, you might as well get 5 internships as well.
Well, it made me hungry to learn. So I learned from doing that I was learning more by doing this outside than sometimes even in the classroom. And so I learned a lot from trying to get people's attention. That started my love for marketing. I tell people, I don't own a marketing agency. I'm in the business of people and attention. That's what I do. I try to get someone's attention, and I need to learn the psychology of people to kind of get them to say yes. And so I had to learn that at a young age with doing events. Even keeping piano students, that was one thing. There's sometimes churn. And so I always tell people, if you want to be successful with marketing, get to know, I was having a conversation with someone here about human psychology. If I could go back, I would have done so much more with that, because learning how to get someone to say yes is really a golden nugget for any business.
Do you want to teach us that? Give us some tips on how to get people to say yes.
Yeah, so
I don't mean to put you on the spot too much, but if you've got some here's some keys.
Yeah. So first thing, no one really wants to hear about you. So a lot of people start pitches with, I'm the hero. I'm this hero. I'll be the hero in your life. I have the product. I'm going to be the hero. That's not the right way to really push it. The right way to do it is actually say you're the guide. You go hand in hand, and you're saying that I'm the one that's going to that I'm going to help lead you. And then you don't take away their power by becoming the hero. And a lot of people say that's kind of a crazy thought, but it works wonders, because one, everyone likes to talk about themselves. We're all thinking about ourselves, and we're always thinking about things we're doing, even when others are talking. And so when you position your marketing, you don't want to be necessarily the solution, which is insane, because you always hear problem solution, right? And I do believe if there's a problem, build a business to be the solution, because that's what makes a successful business. But you don't want to be pushing that aspect. You want to be the guide. And there's a great book, Donald Miller talks about this, and story brand marketing. Definitely recommend it. He changed my life, like all his books did, building a brand. And he talks about really how to zone in on how to become the person's guide versus their hero. And that applies to B2B and B2C. And so you can, by doing that and not taking away their power by becoming the hero, you get an easier yes. So body language, a whole other thing. Now, this is different. We're doing something remote or you're online. It's not like a thing, but how you present yourself with body. So, I mean, everyone here would say, this is nuts. I'm wearing heels and this crap, right?
But it's a power move.
And it's me. And I always do the opposite of what everybody says to do, because I had a lot of women say, you're going to look like an idiot. And I even asked my husband this morning, I was like, I guess I kind of look like an idiot walking around in these heels, but that's me. And so when it comes to like body language, and one, how you present yourself is huge. How I closed my first marketing client was all because of a purse and how I dressed, because these two guys that left Google were starting a consulting agency. And this is kind of, I'm ADD, so I'm kind of flashing forward. But I met them in a breakfast nook in downtown Dallas. I had no idea what I was doing. I was starting this agency, calling it an agency, but it was me. It was like a one-person team. And I was looking back then at Craigslist. Like Craigslist, people posted jobs for, I need to hire marketers. And like, I just was praying that I wasn't a serial killer when I would like go meet them. But that's where I actually got a lot of leads was back then, was people would say, I need like someone to run a marketing campaign. So there was this post and it said like ex-Google employees starting this consulting company. So we met in a breakfast place downtown Dallas. I was a one-person show. I didn't have any clients. I didn't have a portfolio other than my events, but I wasn't going to tell these two adults, like, listen, I did rap battles. I know how to do marketing. So, like, I couldn't do that.
Rap battles in Rexburg,
Idaho. Like, that wasn't going to work. And so I remember walking in so nervous, and I don't get nervous. Like, it's very, I mean, on the snowmobile yesterday, I was nervous. But I remember walking in, I dressed my best, and I told everyone the story of how I walked in and bought, like, my first purse that was almost $4,000 with my own money. I know this is men, so they're not gonna, but it was like huge to me. And it's the purse I brought. That purse is old, but it's the one that means the most to me. And that one purse, because I had that purse, made those guys think that I knew what I was doing and the way that I presented and dressed myself. And the one in particular had studied body language and human psychology. So one of the things is when we sit like this, so me, I'm doing it right now, kind of sitting like this and guarded. One, I'm a woman, so I'm not going to sit spread eagle, but you're very open. So your body language is receptive, how you are right now. When you have palms out, this is receptive. When you do this, it's actually saying more that when it's quote unquote protecting like your privates, and it's more of you're in a sense of like, oh, I'm not going to be open right now, I'm closing off. And there's a lot of books that talk about this. So your stance right here is saying I'm receptive and open.
I did it on purpose.
So, and it's interesting because I've used that in pitches, and I've tried to remember stay open, like I'm receiving you, don't look guarded. And this, when you're doing this, and I used to do it too, like if you're sitting in a meeting, this you can do it. Right now.
I was going to point out something, so yeah, keep going.
But when you're doing this, you kind of take away your power. So, because you're kind of sitting there like this. And so every time I go into a pitch, there were times where I would find myself doing this, but I would stand up, arms open, and there's psychology behind it that when people, that with your brain, when they see you doing that power stance and with your palms out, that's the key thing, that they are more receptive to even listening to what you're saying and saying yes. So learning things like that has changed the game for me when it comes to not just like in person, but also video outreach. Like I do a lot of video outreach, and that's like my golden nugget of my business right now. So I could go on and on
That's
about
awesome.
this.
No, I love this stuff.
Influence, read the book Influence by Robert Cialdini. That one teaches you everything that I just said, but in a way better way to put it. So
I love that she's pointing out a way she chose to grow, which was studying something that seems so minimal. Who cares? Fold your arms, put your hands like this. What difference does it make? Well, it actually really does. Who you choose to act like and how you choose to present yourself makes a difference. And it's those little things, you can work on those in your life. You may go, I got my degree, I know how to do my job really well. Okay, what other little areas of your life could you still improve? My first thought when you're like that is, I unintentionally do this, and I'm not closing myself. I don't feel like I'm closing myself off. But if, in part, the person on the other side of the table feels that, whether I intended or not, that matters. And so I'm going to focus more now on that. By the way, there's a great TED Talk. I don't know if that's one of the places where you've learned this, but there's a TED Talk lady that talks about different body language and what it means. She's really good. So go check out TED Talk, body language, and see what you find. I know there's one that's like super viral.
Yeah, and Chris Voss, the CIA negotiator, if you guys have read any of his stuff, he talks about it a lot because he has to negotiate with terrorists, and he talks about in person versus, so with body, basically how you present yourself that way, but also with verbs and words, like how you reframe questions also can change how someone chooses to say yes or no. And so it's changed the game for me, human psychology, learning, and it's hard for me to almost sometimes turn it off, where I'm not trying to say everyone to say yes to something, but I'm a people watcher. I'm constantly like listening. Like I've listened to so many conversations, even though I wasn't in your conversation. But I love it. Like it's because that's why I say I'm in the business of people and attention.
Knowing how people tick. There was a speaker last week, Ryan Kohler, Applicant Pros, his big win startup. He kept talking about, like, I knew that people wanted, and he constantly was talking about people. And I found that a lot of the most successful have really figured out how people tick, whether that be the people they are trying to do a job for them or the people that they're trying to sell to. So pay attention to that. Okay, I wanted to interject one other thing.
Okay.
I don't want to take your stage because this is awesome, and I want to share. You mentioned events.
Yeah.
One of the most admirable dude in the events game that I have followed is Scott Harrison. He wrote the book Thirst. I highly recommend the book. He spoke at the Inc. 5000 conference the first year we made the list, and I was so inspired by him. At first I was like, a nonprofit guy speaking to all the entrepreneurs in there, and this will be interesting. And in his book, he talks about how for the first 10 years he was a promoter in New York. And I was like, a promoter? Like, I don't even know what this is. He made so much money getting big names to come to events and selling entry fees into his events. Mm-hmm. But he was also selling his soul in the process. And he grew up a pastor's kid. And after 10 years, he had a prodigal son kind of experience, chose to go to Africa on the mercy ships and give a year to God for having sinned so much for the last 10.
Wow.
And his story is so inspiring. And he talks about how telling stories was a big part of how he was able to raise so much money. Thirst, go read that book and be a baller like Bianca here, who knows how to get people to a party. It's awesome. I need to hire you to make the Startups with Stu thing go to another level.
We were talking about it yesterday.
Edgardo's over there nodding his head like Stu needs a lot of help.
No, this is awesome. I mean, this is amazing to be in a room filled with like great people, like that in itself. Like I've enjoyed getting to know every single one, and I see a talent in every single one. And I think I was telling you what's amazing is we all don't do the same thing. And that's needed. And I'm one of those that I really do believe that we were all born to do something great. Like I know that, I feel that, and I can look at each individual that I've ever met and I see greatness in them. And I think that all of you guys are chasing that, and I love it. Like it gets me fired up. That's why I couldn't go to bed last night, but everybody went to bed. So, so I gave you some energy packets I guess we're not here tonight. I should have done that last night, but.
Well, that's funny. Well, that's a good segue, I think. So you mentioned that everyone has talents. Mm-hmm. One of your talents is people and getting people to say yes, promotion, marketing, advertising. Tell us about what you do with Vox Voice.
So I've had my agency for 11 years, and we do a lot. So my Garrett will say that I don't say no to a client, to an industry, to a project, even if I have no idea what we're doing. And there's a lot of advice, don't do that, like find your niche, don't go in there. But I've found it very successful with my agency. So I work with so many different companies, with the latest being I got a call from Mr. Beast himself, like Mr. Beast's team. And so I don't say no to an opportunity. I don't take everything on because I'm also a mother and I have 2 little boys and I like to be very present. And so I try to juggle as much as I can in this season in my life with that. But I work with clients in ERP, CRM, from stormwater compliance to security monitoring to termite control to publishing, like everything, like every industry I've kind of been in. And we do everything from websites to marketing campaigns. But attention was something that I noticed like in the AI boom. The bots, like who here has a million emails from bots, or you get on LinkedIn and it's like message after message of bots. And I noticed a problem with that a few years ago. And I work with B2C, but predominantly my clients are B2B. So we're trying to get attention of executives or managers, trying to get something like implemented or working with their company, right? And I noticed with AI, because I actually got to use ChatGPT way before it came out. I was like a beta tester user, probably stealing all my data to try to see. Remember that? Remember, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like when I got to first try it. And it's improved tremendously from when I first got that. But within the AI boom, I was like, man, the thing that's missing is what I drive my business on. And that is people, like emotions. Like every sell is emotional. If you can really connect with who you're selling, that's even through a website. Like your website copy, if it doesn't tell a story and if it doesn't convert in a way of you're really trying to get like the emotional side, then you're doing it wrong, because humans are driven by emotion in everything that we do. And I had this idea, you know what, I am me, not someone on my team, to start sending like videos to executives, like to try to get a meeting, to try to get like their attention. So I started this 3 years ago. I found this, and I was talking to Dan about this, because this is like my secret sauce, if per se, for my business, and the conversions are insane. Unscripted, no lights, no mics. I'm walking, I'm like doing my walk outside, going on, and literally reaching executives in like high companies. So Caterpillar, does everybody know the company Caterpillar for construction equipment? So I had a client, they do like software development, agile pods, and they try to get their teams like into like a big team of 20 software developers into a big company like Caterpillar. And they were like, man, Bianca, we're trying to reach Paul, who was the CIO of Caterpillar 2 years ago. He's now retired. We've been trying to reach him and his team, and we cannot get a hold of Paul. And I was like, well, yeah, Paul's a busy man. He's getting like 300 of your emails a day, or your calls and everything. And I told him, I was like, well, let me send a video. And the CIO of this company, Inclusion Cloud, was like, laughed in my face. And he was just like, a video that's unprofessional. He was like, you're targeting this like huge CIO of this huge international company. You're going to send him a video. And I was like, yes, I am. And he told me not to. So what do you think I did? I did it and I didn't do it on his email. I did it on mine.
Loved raising you as a teenager.
Oh, no, that's a whole other story that you don't want to know. So I send this video to Paul, and I'm not saying I scripted it. I literally just was walking outside, and I'm basically selfieing myself, saying, hey, Paul, I'm Bianca. I know that you're in growth mode and that you might need like a new 20 software developers. We have agile pods, etc. But I mainly just wanted to say hi, and I messed up. I said I even thought about like re-filming it. But then I thought, you know what? Why do we go away from human error so much? Yeah. Like we chase perfection, but we all make mistakes. Yeah. So what if I relate to him by not sending this scripted, by sending the video that says by not even, honestly, it was not a good pitch. Like I don't even know what I was saying in the video. 7 minutes later, I get an email back from Paul that I have in my office, and it's a screenshot of the email telling me that he's never seen something like that, and it brought his attention, especially because the way I send the emails is it shows like a GIF. So you see me being like that, like for like 2 seconds. Yeah. So it looks a little weird.
Which video platform do you use?
Hippo Video AI. Yes, so good. It's like $49 a month. Use it. It is good. Literally $49 a month, and the conversions are insane. And here's my thing, that don't script it. Be yourself, make the mistakes, say the errors, don't have good lighting, walk outside, be holding your kid or do whatever you want. I promise you conversions increase. And Paul's email to this day, they said that they couldn't work specifically with what we were doing because they had a third party that they already integrate and implement software developers within the company. But his email is framed, and I often look back to it when I feel like I'm failing, because this CIO of Caterpillar tells me, don't stop what you're doing. Keep being different, keep making the videos. It brightened my day and also changed up from what all the other marketing that I get. Like, this was different. And then he corrected me on his name, and also I said some word wrong, which I do that often. So I always tell people it's because Portuguese is my first language, but that's not true. So, well, that's true. Portuguese is my first language, but I mess words up just because
you're half Brazilian.
Yeah.
That's why Portuguese is
I
your
tell
first
people
language.
that, but I mean, I speak English really well. So.
Oh, that's great. Okay, we have 5 more minutes to make this like the best episode yet on the Startups with Stu show. So and it already is amazing. If you were to give your younger self advice, because I think a lot of the takeaways, I hope that young college students, someone in the room, we have some on scholarship here, that I did like a Shark Tank thing at BYU Idaho and said, hey, if you want to come to my retreat, whether I invest in your startups or not, you're welcome to come to my retreat. Some of them took me up on that, which is awesome. And I think there will be others that tune in. Both of us have a lot of BYUI alumni that follow us and students and stuff. Mm-hmm. What would you tell your kid going into college or your younger self based on what you've learned so far in your career?
That's easy. And I say it all the time to our kids too. Live with urgency and chase potential. And I had a very unfortunate accident that woke me up to that. When I was driving from Texas to BYU Idaho, I was 18. I got in a car accident going 65 miles an hour. I T-boned a guy that ran a red light, drunk driver. And in the middle of Farmington, New Mexico. Has anyone been there? It's like, okay, like Indian reservations. It was a total mess, but I T-boned him. My best friend was in the front seat. And it was interesting because I was 18 and I had all these ideas. I was kind of a rebel still. And I remember distinctly what flashed like before my eyes. They say that saying that like before you die, something flashes before your eyes. And I thought, I don't know how we lived. And the cop said that. And I walked out with just a jacked up knee, the airbag messed up my face, like bloody, like total black eye, bloody nose. And my friend broke her nose. So we came out, but with like minimal. But the guy went into a coma that I T-boned because I hit him. And he went into a coma, and then that's a long story. I got sued, even though he was the drunk driver, and I had to work with Indian reservation government. It was a long story. I'm going to save that for another time. But literally my life flashed before my eyes, and it was interesting because the first thing that I thought of wasn't all the crap in the back of my car. It wasn't all the purses. It wasn't all the shoes. My first thought was, oh my gosh, have I told my mom and dad how much I love them, my brothers and my sisters? Like, what have I been doing with my time up until here? My second was, will I meet God? Have I lived in a way that when I cross, is God going to accept me or be like, sorry, Bianca, you're going this way? And the third was, I always was a bucket list person. And that bucket list would have died with me in that moment because I never chased that bucket list. And that moment changed my life in so many ways because it taught me to live with urgency. And I challenge you guys to think right now of your bucket list. And we all have it. We all have things we want to do. And I learned that you're not promised tomorrow. I was given that opportunity. So when I tell you all these places that I've gone and I've traveled and things that I do and I've done some crazy things, I do it because I don't know if I have it tomorrow. We all don't know if we have it tomorrow. And chasing businesses is the same thing. Like, do it urgently. Like, what would your business look like if you chose to wake up tomorrow and live with urgency in everything that you do? And I believe in 360-degree success. I don't want to just be successful in my business. I want to be successful with my family, with my friends, with my health. And so I fully believe in living with urgency in every intention that you do. And when you create your bucket list, don't wait for 10 years. And I do vision boards, but what could you do if you condense that to right now, tomorrow? Like, what would you do if you could do this today versus tomorrow? And if every day you live 24 hours and with that urgency, imagine what your life will look like. And I can say now, and I proudly say this, if I were to die tomorrow, man, I've lived a good life. I don't regret anything. And I've done so many things that were on my bucket list, and I crossed off a lot before 30. And but now that list just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I just really believe in that, and also chase your potential, because we all have it. We all have that. And even to like the college students that are in here, I was talking to Noah yesterday, and I love the fire that was in him, and I love seeing that. And I think as adults, we get stressed. We have so much stuff going on. We all have hardships in our lives. But if you chase your potential and constantly remember that you were born to do something great, like I know every single one of us in here is, and I know God sees it, I see it in everyone, that you can live a life that's completely incredible. And that if you were to have the same thing happen to you that happened to me and your life flashed before your eyes, ask yourself, if it flashed in front of your eyes right now, would you be proud? Would you feel like you did all that you could? And if not, then I just challenge you to take the next 24 hours and live with such urgency that you don't have tomorrow, and watch what happens with your life.
Bianca, thank you so much for sharing that. That is such wise advice. Obviously, she's always been a little bit wise beyond her years. I want to point out a couple things in closing. One thing that's been super cool about and unique about this episode, Mark, if you don't mind panning over to Garrett, I have been able to see Garrett behind Bianca, and it is so cool to see how you guys do this life together from the distance that I have from it. But this week it was cool. Last week I saw a screenshot of your text message with Garrett, because you wanted to share like the conversation back and forth, which was like 6 texts Bianca, 1 text Garrett. And I was like, that's real right there. That's real.
And all he ever says back is okay, period. And I'm like, what?
Period.
No, he's the worst. I'm like telling him my whole life, and he's just like, okay. I'm like, you know what? We all know I called him an idiot multiple times on the snowmobile, so you can imagine those conversations.
But the love is real. And one thing that I love about the conversation that was screenshotted was, it was a check-in. Mm-hmm. Like, when you do entrepreneurship with a spouse, you are in it together. Lindsay has sworn off ever working for Stu. Like, she does not want to work for me, but I would never have made it to where I am today without her as my cheerleader and believing in me first and foremost. And second, I'm always trying to impress her. I want to make her happy, and I want to make her proud. And it does not matter what I do in my business. That is not what makes her proud. Taking time out of the business to help with the kids and teach the kids and love the kids and support them in their events. Telling her she's beautiful, complimenting her on how good she looks because she's trying so hard and working out a lot right now. Doing the dishes, getting the honey-do list done. Like, that's what she really cares about from me. And when she met me, she had more money in the bank than me. I was not a good buy. First 3 jobs I totally got fired from. Or laid off, okay? It was scary at the beginning for her. But she just always believed in me and supported me, and I always checked in. Because there were times when she was ultra frugal, and that's hard. Because she knew I could go get a job and pay better and have more money and buy a better house. But she always believed in me and supported me, and Just love her for it. And then there was one other thing. Oh yeah, here's the other thing I learned today from this episode that I want to point out. You don't have to learn the hard way all the time. Bianca mentioned that she was a rebel and that she went through this scary moment when she was 18 of having an accident and having some life flash before her eyes. One thing that's cool about the Startups with Stu show and a lot of other podcasts and a lot of other books is that they tell the stories, the things they went through that were hard. And you all need to live your life and you're going to go through hard things. But some are poor decision making that led to hard things. Skip those. Learn from the people who've been through those and skip them. You can learn from them. You don't have to experience them. I'm number 6 of 8 kids, and one of the benefits of being number 6 is your parents have already learned how to do it wrong on 5, and hopefully they get it right on 6. But because there is no one right way, it's all just hard as a parent. Love your parents, no matter, because they're just trying, okay? But 2, like, I got to watch where my siblings missed the path. And I got to watch where my aunts and uncles made different decisions that affected their life. And I paid attention to it. And I said, I want to emulate that. I want to be like that person. And you don't have to miss all of the steps that they missed in order to become like they are. You can learn from them, and you should. Okay? So, like, when Bianca says, like, I didn't have this perspective yet, you don't have to go have the accident to go get that perspective. So if you felt something today, as she shared stories like that, then go and learn from that and apply it in your life, and it'll make you a better person. So Bianca, you made us all better for coming on the show today. Thank you so much for coming up to Idaho for us.
Thank you. It was worth it. I miss Idaho.
Give it up for Bianca McDownriver. That's a wrap.
There you go.
Rap battle, Bianca versus Bryce.
Let's go. Wait, yeah. Keep the mics rolling. We are rap battling. Anyone up for the challenge? Okay, just spit a couple bars for us. I'm talking really cool. My kids would be so proud I just said that.
So my son,
spit some bars.
I showed my son this video of me rapping in front of like thousands of kids, and then I made it in his eyes because that was what made him proud. So you can ask him, how much do we rap at home? Like, so we're like, everything is like, do you want breakfast? Like, what cereal do you want? Like, it's like we're going into it. Like, it's like this whole alter persona that I never thought I'd be doing this on camera again. But he knows like all the Eminem songs because that Eminem was like, he's still my favorite, like to this day. I just think he's a lyricist and he tells stories, so I love the way he does that. But I'm like, well, do you want to freestyle battle me?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll see what I got.
So we just start, let's say a topic. So let's talk about the retreat.
Okay.
So we need a beat.
I need you to go first because I have no clue how to do this.
All right. Do you want to give a beat? We have multiple on YouTube.
Oh,
ready.
He's got them ready. Yes, I love it.
We do. Landon will sometimes beatbox, so.
Jared has it on cue. That's
Well, I always make him rap, and he's like, I'm not a rapper. I hate this. He's like, but he's gotten pretty good. He's gotten good.
DJ.
We do that in the car. So when we're driving places, we put a beat on, but my son's vocabulary, because I told him that you'll be a better rapper, which mom advice, you'll be a better rapper the more vocab you learn, the more you could rhyme. So his vocabulary is like through the roof because of rapping. So yeah. Oh, this is a good one. So my name in college was MC Down, because my name is McDown. So MC and then my son's boy's Little Reeves. Okay. So
Little Reeves.
Yes. All right. You see, my name is MC Down, and that's not the same. You see my name in gold up on that Hall of Fame, and this is my claim. Something I must stress. I be that superwoman with that S on my chest, and we're sitting here with Stu. Yeah, he's looking at me. I really think that he just wants to go and do a pee because he's pissed off that he got to do this now. It's okay, baby Stu. I'm gonna win somehow. I'm the winner. I'm always the one at the top. I'm sorry, boy, you're gonna have to take a second slot because I'm the best, and everybody knows I'm the best in Rexburg. MC Down, they know. Doing all the parties, yeah, I did it every night. I wanted to be famous, so fame is in sight. Yeah, come on, Stu, let's see what you got. You know I'm number one, so don't try to take my spot.
I ain't got a chance. Oh my goodness. Here we are at the Startups with Stu retreat. I don't have a beat, but I'm ready to defeat. That's all I got. Now I kind of want to like go home to my 16-year-old daughter and try and be cool and do this with
No,
her.
put on a beat. I promise you guys, just like put on a beat. Everyone's like, I can't rap. I was like, no, you can. Just like you start rhyming and you get better. Just put a beat on and like just do it. It's fun. So
That was so cool.
Thanks for joining me on Startups with Stu. We have big goals to help millions of entrepreneurs. If you enjoyed this show, please take a minute to share it with someone else that needs to hear it, or leave a review. Remember, success is within reach for those who dare to dream big and take action. Until next time, keep pushing forward on your entrepreneurial journey.